Blue Thunbergia is an invasive vine threatening our wet tropics. It's known to occur between Cooktown and Ingham, usually in isolated outbreaks, near homes and gardens. However, it is also established in our natural areas and waterways. As a result, there are large infestations between Cairns, Coramda and Innisfail.
Here's an example of Thunbergia grandiflora. It's got a few common names. Blue Thunbergia, which is a native of southern China, northern India region. It's a popular garden plant because it's tough, beautiful flowers. But unfortunately here it's an invasive weed and we've got a lot of trouble trying to control it. It's escaped either through properties or through illegal dumping of plant waste. It can grow from seed or from small pieces, so it can take root pretty much anywhere. It loves the wet areas and you can see the damage that it does. It creates a whole shroud over the tree, completely blocking out the sunlight. It can bring down the tree with its weight and it can prevent the natural seed distribution of the native species, and in that way it alters the whole local ecosystem. We're now mapping all the locations that it's at. It's pretty scary really, the distribution of it. In some situations it's the only vegetation that's holding the bank now, so that presents another difficult situation where if we remove it, we still need to somehow stabilise the bank so that the soil's not washed away. One of the key features is its flower. It's a purpley mauve colour. The throat's a slight yellow. The leaf on the plant can be variable. In this area, it's similar to like a choco leaf, I guess, or a maple tree leaf. And the other thing to look for, of course, is climbing up trees. But this is also a good example. It's not just the natural environment that this is impacting, it's also infrastructure. This property next to us here, for example, literally had it poking up through the floorboards.
I have seen it destroy infrastructure in Cairns. Crack driveways, move houses, destroy sewage, crack water pipes.
Thunbergia's been growing along here, climbing up trees, smothering all along the ground as well. So you can see this tree here, it's managed to survive, but we've got plenty more up that way. Well, it's too late for them. The Thunbergia's already killed them. What you can see here is where the Thunbergia has been treated.
So here we've lollipopped the tree. We're using the machetes just to cut around the tree and separate it from the ground and what's growing up, and then spraying it. With the deep tubers that are growing under the ground, it can sit in there dormant for many years, and then it just randomly starts shooting up with the sunlight.
And in this case, the regen is happening with the native species because regeneration's a big part of a long-term solution.
So this is the site of Thunbergia grandiflora. It's in a riparian zone along Little Mulgrave River. The hard part about treatment for this plant is we used to chop it, but we've had to change our methods because once you chop the plant, the chemical can't translocate through the plant. Have you got a good runner, Dave? So now we leave it all connected and we try to treat the runners as we go. When you start with Thumby, you can see every foot or so it's got an elbow or a node. So you start with the thin stuff and without breaking it, you try to follow it to the thicker stuff, and then the thicker stuff will hit the ground and you'll have what's called a yam or a tuber. That's where that's the root of the plant. So it's very important to treat the roots, but you also have to treat runners because every node will shoot out a star pattern. If one piece floats down the river, it can start a whole new site. Sites like this where it's growing through the grass in a blanket, we try to foliar spray, and anywhere it climbs or has tubers and nodes is where we treat with stem scraping and stem injection. I like to start up high and then work my way low. So all I'm doing is hitting it gently, twisting my blade, and then squirting a little bit of chem into there. There is another method too, where you can split the vine, just like that. That's the method we like to use as well. But like I said, you try not to damage the plant too much, otherwise it knows what you're doing. There's also another method of, this is stem scraping. So you can just scrape the stem, as long as you get to the cambium layer of the plant. Look at that, Jay. This would be a 10-year-old runner. So we've traced the thin stuff back through the thicker stuff, and now it's barked up, it's really big. These are your tubers. So the tuber is the most important to get selective herbicide into, but it's also worth treating every node. You can sort of see an elbow every foot. It's worth treating all of that as you go. It is important to come back, because if you miss one little bit, it'll strangle all the native trees, it'll rip everything down, it'll create a blanket where no natural recruitment will happen. So that's why it's really important to come back and make sure you finish the job.
Blue Thunbergia is a management priority in every Wet Tropics local government. It is an eradication target in the Douglas, Tablelands, Cassowary Coast, and Hinchinbrook local government areas. In other locations, infestations are being managed systematically, from the top of catchments downstream. Under the Biosecurity Act 2014, Blue Thunbergia must not be given away, sold, or released into the environment. Penalties apply. And under Queensland's general biosecurity obligation, we all have a responsibility to take practical steps to manage and minimise the biosecurity risks of any Blue Thunbergia under our control. To learn more, go to your local government biosecurity plan, or look up the Queensland Government Pest Fact Sheet.